Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we have the next installment of the Intelligence Annex series for the Division 2. It is literally the very last minute. They could have done this on the second to last day of November. I really thought there wasn't going to be one because this came out like 15 minutes past the news hour. So I was about to go record a different video because I was like, okay, well, they're not doing one, but we have it here, and today they're talking about a brand new progression feature for the game called Expertise. I got to get a chance to glance at this before I started recording, and it's super in-depth. Like, this is going to be a long video, so strap in, sit down, relax. We're going to talk about this brand new feature coming to the Division 2. Let's jump in. All right, so here we are on the article. Again, I'm going to have to go through this at a very, methodical pace in order for myself to understand it and to accurately explain it to you all. So let's go. Intelligence Annex Expertise. Agents, welcome to the Intelligence Annex, where obviously they're, telling us about new stuff about the update. Today, we have the pleasure to introduce you to a brand new progression feature, Expertise. We all know that getting the most out of your gear is important to any agent in the field, and sometimes a lot of planning and difficult decisions goes into ensuring your equipment is maximized and ready for a fight. While we know this will be much clearer once you see it in action, we'll do today our best to explain this new feature through its first glimpse article. So starting off, what is Expertise? Expertise is a new way for agents to further develop the performance of their gear, weapons, and skill variants. Thanks to this feature, you will be able to improve the grade of your equipment and directly increase their base stats for greater efficiency. Okay. Of course, this feature will be complementary to the existing crafting and optimization systems to give you a brand new way to gain power while using your items on the field. Expertise will be available from the recalibration station in the base of operations or Haven through a dedicated new Expertise tab. How does the Expertise feature work? With the new Expertise feature, you'll be able to increase the grade of an item, brand, or gear set to increase its base stats. For example, with base damage bonuses for a weapon. The number of times you will be able to increase the grade of these items will be equal to your Expertise level. To earn Expertise levels, you will need to gain proficiency ranks by using an item, brand, or gear set in combat, or by investing resources into researching them. Once you reach the maximum proficiency rank for said equipment, you will become proficient with it. It is important to note that you may only improve the grade of items, brands, and gear sets that you are proficient with. All right, let's break this down. There's a lot more to go, but this is kind of the starting baseline here. What I'm getting from this is that not only are we getting the new stuff with specializations, where you have to increase the levels of that, we're getting a whole new progression system, and I kind of see this as being their next evolution of the Keener Watch system, where over time, you're going to be able to increase the base stats of pretty much all of your gear as much as you want to, the more and more you play. And what I really like about this is that basically, what you're going to have to do before you could even interact with this new Expertise system and increase its grade, increase its power, is that you're going to have to use it out in the field. You have to become proficient with an item, which they said you can only gain by using them in combat or by investing resources, which I assume is going to be a hefty amount of resources, probably on the optimization level of stuff that it takes now. You're going to have to use these builds, use these different items before you can start upgrading them, and I think that's a really cool idea because it means that you actually have to become proficient with that build, with that play style, and then you can become even more powerful with it once you learn basically, the basics of how it works. And I think that's a really cool idea. It makes you actually play the game before you can then increase it, and you want to decide that you want to put more time and resources and effort into it. So I think that's a really cool idea. So basically, base level, use different items and builds and whatnot, or invest resources into them to max out their proficiency rank. And then once you do that, you can increase the grade of an item, its power level, basically. So that's a really cool idea, but let's go on. Through this feature, we want to encourage players to experience new builds and playstyles without penalizing those who prefer to stick to their favorite one. We will now share some more in-depth information about this feature and how you will be able to develop your Expertise moving forward. Compatible item types. Expertise will be available for the following item types. Weapons, so they give those examples there. Brands, gear sets, named items, exotics, skill variants, and specialization weapons. That's a lot of stuff. Basically, anything you interact with in the game that goes into making your build, except for grenades, I suppose, you can increase their power level of through this Expertise system. That's pretty cool. It also says down at the bottom, for brands and gear sets, you will be able to develop proficiency for all compatible equipment in these sets at the same time. Oh, that's cool. So if you're using one piece of Fenris or 3 pieces of Striker, it'll upgrade the proficiency for all associated pieces in that brand or gear set. So you could upgrade a Fenris mask, and then the same bonuses will apply if you swap out to a Fenris knee pad. That's actually really nice, because if you were to use one build that just has a different piece on, depending on what kind of gear you have, that could get pretty annoying. So that's really cool that they're doing that. It's basically a one and done thing for each type of gear and weapon, all that in the game. That's really cool. It is important to note that you don't need to acquire a copy of an item before you can start developing proficiency on it. You can always see all the possible items available for research in the expertise tab in the recalibration station. Also, with new content being added to the game, the pool of compatible items will increase and therefore your capacity to develop your expertise level further. Another good reason to discover and enjoy new equipment introduced with new seasons. Alright, gaining proficiency with items. An item's quality and type determine how many proficiency points in it is needed to reach the maximum proficiency rank of 10. There are 3 different ways in which an agent can develop proficiency on an item. So again, proficiency is what you have to level up before you can start increasing the power level of a weapon, gear set, brand, skill variant, all that stuff they laid out. You have to first level it up by using it or upgrading it in these different ways. Using the items in the field and getting kills and XP with them. By getting kill XP while compatible items are equipped, you will earn proficiency points for each item. Makes sense. Equipping several items from a brand or set will increase proficiency points earned for the specific type. That's cool. So if you're using 3 pieces of Fenris, for example, as opposed to 1, you'll gain that proficiency at a faster rate, even though just using 1 would apply for the full thing. You will get it faster if you're using all 3. That makes sense, and that's very cool. Donating matching items. You can donate any item that matches the one you want to develop proficiency with, for example, with a similar gear set, brand, or item. That's very cool. Another use for our loot that we're obtaining that we don't need. You can donate it to this expertise system and level up the proficiency of those different things that you don't need. I think that's really cool. That's a really smart way to do it. Donating materials, you will also be able to leverage your precious stash of material and currencies to increase your proficiency with rare elements yielding to better results. Cool. Again, I assume that's going to be pretty hefty in terms of the cost, probably on the level of, the optimization stuff we see right now in the game. But we'll have to see about that. I have a feeling that's going to be the way people do it the least. Probably those first 2 will be more used. While donating items or materials could be a good way to quickly progress, you will also be able to passively earn proficiency points just by playing any activity in the game as long as you have compatible equipped items. You can check your current items' proficiency levels at any time in the menu or join the recalibration station to review all of them and what items you may miss from your current collection. So I'm sure this will be laid out very similarly to the recalibration library as we see it now, and that's good because that is a very clear format for experienced and newer players to understand what they still need to go after. I assume this will be laid out in a similar way. Expertise, level, and usage. As you gain proficiency ranks in more items, you will also be able to increase the expertise level of your agent. Oh, I didn't even read that the first time. You will need to reach a certain number of accumulated proficiency ranks to level up. So yeah, this is totally Keener Watch 2.0, which is really exciting. All expertise and proficiency progressions are account-wide. For every level of expertise, players gain increased ability to upgrade an item using materials. This works much like the optimization feature, but instead of increasing a particular attribute towards a max value, you instead get to increase the base stat of the item. This increase improves the item's grade. However, note that items may only be upgraded if the user is proficient in that item by having reached a max proficiency rank. Players may upgrade any given item as many times as their current expertise level. Upgrading each category item has an effect that is tied to that item category. Weapons, 1% increase to base damage, gear, 1% base armor value, skills, 1% increase to base damage, healing, status, effect, duration. Okay, that's slightly confusing, but basically what I think they're saying is the more you interact with the system, the more you level up stuff, the higher amount of levels your agent will accumulate, and that then allows you to further upgrade the grade value of your different items that you're proficient with. I think I'm understanding it correctly there. Maybe. We'll see. Important information. Current values are a work in progress and may be subject to change based on future balancing needs and PTS feedback. Makes sense. Agents can continue to level up their expertise level by ranking up with all items available to them. Each time new items are added to the game, the maximum expertise level also increases. Very cool. So each new season, when we get a new swath of weapons, brands, gear sets, exotics, that expertise level is going to increase. And this is basically like a set way for them to, keep the grind going throughout the year, keep something for players to chase. And I think that's very cool. That's a very good system that they're putting in. Closing words and glossary. Our ambition with the expertise feature is to give newcomers and experienced players alike an opportunity to get better rewarded whenever they use their favorite items or want something new to try. We are looking forward to showing you this feature in action and hear your feedback during the PTS to help put the finishing touches on its balancing. All right, and then we'll go over this, even though I think I explained it somewhat well as we went through. But the glossary is expertise, the name of this new feature, allowing you to upgrade your gear, weapons, and skill variants. Expertise level and agents level with the expertise feature, meaning the more you interact with it, the more expertise levels your agent will accumulate. Proficiency rank, how proficient you are with a specific type of items, maxes out at 10 ranks. Proficient, reaching max rank in an item type proficiency, permits upgrading of items of that type. Oh, so maybe it is like full class. So if you use like an M4, for example, and you get proficiency ranks with that, that might apply to all weapons. I thought it was individual to each gun and gear piece. That might have been kind of cooler, but that's still a cool concept overall. And then grade, individual item upgrades displays on your item, for example, Lady Death grade 2. The one thing I didn't get is if you have to spend resources or points to upgrade the grade of something. If you're upgrading each individual weapon from a level that you're accumulating for the entire class of weapons in the game, do you just get to infinitely do it for every piece of gear? That would seem kind of weird, but I guess we'll have to wait for more clarification on that. That is all for this Intelligence Annex. Next time around, we will provide more information about the improvements we are currently working on for our seasons. We're going to have some videos on that for sure, which will be implemented starting from next season. If you haven't already, keep up to date on the latest news and communications by following us on forums, Twitter, and Discord. Cool. Thanks for your continued support, agents. Okay. That is a lot, folks. I think I explained it pretty well going through. Basically, this is a new system that is going to allow you to increase the power level over time of all the different available build components in the game, primarily through using them in combat in different activities within the game. And I think that's a pretty cool loop, a pretty cool system for them to introduce. This is kind of like Keener Watch 2.0 in terms of like long-term progression for your entire character per account. And I think that's pretty neat. It's TBD on how some of the details will work and mix in with stuff like optimization, recalibration, and all of that. But I'm very excited to see what this will lead to in terms of the larger game and what this means for different metas and whatnot. It's going to be really interesting. This is, again, a very clear example of just how big this update is going to be in terms of redefining and reforming the endgame experience of the Division 2. We're going to have a ton of new stuff to do with this new content, with these new systems. And I really can't wait to see it all come together, see how it all fits, because they have a big undertaking in front of them, but I'm confident that they're going to be able to pull it off, because like I said many times before now, they wouldn't take on these things if they didn't think they could at least do it with some success, and I'm very excited to see what that looks like. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on this new expertise system coming to the Division 2 in just like 11 weeks now. Less than. I was on the game last night. I saw the timer. So this is coming up. The PTS is in January. People are going to get to try this out and give their feedback on it. This is what they've been working on all year long, are these new progression systems, brand new things for the game that are meant to sustain it more long-term throughout year 4. And I'm really excited to see it all come to life. Hope you are too. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. That's going to do it for this one, everybody. So yeah, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.